A firestorm is engulfing the MAGA camp, and at the center of it, Attorney General Pam Bondi is choosing the most embarrassing way out: running away. She's not just dodging the press, she's fleeing from the very propaganda machine that created her, Fox News.
Attorney General Pam Bondi hasn't appeared on Fox News since backlash to the Trump administration's handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files started. Bondi, once a regular on the cable giant, was last on air as a guest with Sean Hannity on June 30th, just days before the Justice Department and FBI dropped a bombshell memo about the Epstein case and ignited weeks of chaos, Mediaite first noted.
This isn't just simple panic. It's the first sign of a carefully calculated betrayal. A knife being sharpened in the shadows, ready to plunge into the back of its master, Donald Trump, at the moment he is at his weakest. This silence comes as Congress is growing increasingly aggressive in its demands for transparency, and the pressure is mounting to force the administration to explain what they knew and when they knew it.
The Daily Beast reports, quote, Massey and Khanna will also provide an update on their discharge petition, which would force a House vote on releasing the Epstein files, as well as discuss their Epstein Files Transparency Act, which, if passed, would require Attorney General Pam Bondi to release all documents related to the billionaire financier in a searchable and downloadable format.
Donald Trump, in a state of sheer panic, is still trying to keep his show going. He's praising Pam Bondi, but not for her actual job of delivering justice. It's for the frivolous, distracting assignments. A clumsy performance meant to hide the fact that he is desperate to bury the Epstein case. He needs Bondi by his side, as a shield of loyalty. But that shield is starting to crack. He's beginning to read an eulogy for himself, without even knowing it.
One in particular is Attorney General Pam Bondi. The job she's doing is incredible. Thank you very much. Long beyond the Kennedy Center. The Kennedy Center is the easy part. She's incredible, and you're going to see a big change in Washington crime stats very soon. Oh, not the stats that they gave, because they turned out to be a total fraud. The real stats, the stats went through the roof. They had
Trump is losing control. He's now attacking even his own government statistics, claiming they're fake simply because they don't fit the story he wants to tell. A president who doesn't even trust his own machinery. A clear sign of collapse.
a man that was forced to put up stats like they were doing better. They're not doing better. Crime is the worst it's ever been, but it started as of about yesterday. It started to, you see a big change, and people are feeling safe already. I've had so many calls, thank you, sir, thank you. They were afraid to walk out. They're not afraid anymore.
And Pam Bondi, the sly rat, sees the ship is sinking. She knows that appearing on Fox News, once her safe home turf, is now a deadly trap. One slip of the tongue, one wrong expression, and it all comes crashing down. Her silence isn't loyalty, it's self-preservation. She's peeling herself away from Trump, leaving him alone to face the rage. This is the first step of betrayal. Pam Bondi, for all intents and purposes, used to work for Fox. She wasn't truly an attorney general. She was a Fox News reporter moonlighting as an AG, which is why Pam Bondi, being either too incompetent or too terrified to speak about this scandal, to the point where she might slip, accidentally admit something about Trump's crimes, or simply draw more attention to it through her own stupidity, means she can't even go on Fox. Why is Bondi so afraid? Because the Trump-Epstein connection isn't idle gossip. It's documented with undeniable evidence. From the flight logs of the notorious Lolita Express, these weren't casual acquaintances, they were companions in depravity.
So we really chronicled this whole relationship through time. And one thing that I found really interesting was these flight logs from Epstein's private jet, which were part of that investigation into Ghislaine Maxwell. And they really tell you a story of how close these guys are. Look at just a few of them. This is in 1993, for instance. This is the same year that we found.
Trump once had no hesitation bragging about this friendship. Now his own words have come back to hit him, becoming undeniable proof of the White House leader's lies as he tries to deny the depth of this connection. And Bondi knows this better than anyone.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the things that's always been so striking is that quote that he said in 2002 that we found in that New York Magazine article where he said he was a terrific guy, he liked beautiful women just like him. And then that quote where he says he likes many of them on the younger side. That was from an article entitled Jeffrey Epstein, International Money Man of Mystery.
It's not just the words. The pictures are worth 1,000 more. Photos of Trump and Epstein together at lavish events, at parties in Mar-a-Lago, surrounded by young models, the smiles, The friendly arm over the shoulder gestures, all painting a portrait of a sick friendship, an alliance of power and lust. These are images Bondi knows can never be erased.
Yeah, Kate, and these images, they really speak for themselves. In November 1992, there's an image that a lot of people have seen, and it's of Trump and Epstein, and they're dancing there. You can see with models. I think you can see Ghislaine Maxwell in the background if you look. She was there just a second ago. Just a year later, we had found, or previously, Epstein was at Trump's wedding in 1993. That's the photo there on the left. 1997, you can see in that photo on the right, that's them at a Victoria's Secret Angels event.
This cover-up has been systematic and long-running. Just look at Alex Acosta, the prosecutor who handed Epstein an unbelievable sweetheart deal, letting a predator escape federal justice. And then, as a reward, Acosta was appointed by Trump as Secretary of Labor. This is how Trump's system works. Loyalty is traded for protection, and justice is sold cheap. Bondi, as Attorney General, is standing on the shoulders of these corrupt giants.
Alex Acosta was the prosecutor who infamously gave Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart deal in 2008, a deal that allowed Epstein to serve minimal time in prison, and a deal that shut down the federal investigation into his alleged trafficking ring. Acosta then went on to serve as Trump's first-term labor secretary.
To escape the heat, Trump pulls an old trick: distraction. He suddenly announces he'll take over Washington, D.C. in the name of fighting crime. A ridiculous brazen stunt. A desperate attempt to change the headlines, to make the American people forget the name Epstein. But it's not working.
Let's be clear about what's going on here. Donald Trump says that he is taking control of the Washington, D.C. police force today because violent crime is out of control in the capital city. But you know what are the two cities in America with the highest rates of homicide? It's not Washington, D.C. It's St. Louis, Missouri, and Memphis, Tennessee.
The real purpose of the show isn't the safety of the people. It's the safety of Donald Trump himself. He's trying to build a firewall to shield himself from the Epstein investigation, from corruption charges, from the truth that his policies are destroying the healthcare system and the lives of millions of Americans. Every move he makes is a selfish calculation.
States like Connecticut, Massachusetts, California, amongst the safest states in the nation. This isn't about the safety of the people of Washington, D.C. This is about a president who is desperate to distract the conversation in this country away from what he is doing, to monetize the White House, to make himself rich off of his position, to distract this country from the Epstein debacle, his attempt to try to shield the rich and powerful from accountability, and the healthcare crisis that is coming in this country when millions of people get thrown off their healthcare insurance and millions more in just a few months have their premiums jacked up because of what Donald Trump has done to try to pass tax cuts for the wealthy by throwing people off their healthcare.
Ironically, it's people within the Republican Party who aren't letting him rest. They know the Epstein case is a ticking time bomb that could destroy everything. Like Bondi, they're starting to realize that blindly protecting Trump will lead to mutual destruction. And now, the calls for justice are coming from within his own ranks.
But it's Trump's own party who won't let Epstein go.
The American people are sick and tired of this government holding on to all these secrets. They're sick and tired of being lied to by the intelligence community and by a deep state. I hope that we don't have to wait 60, 70 years to find out what really happened when it came to Jeffrey Epstein.
And while Trump is busy juggling his theatrics, his machinery is putting on a stunning display of incompetence. His hand-picked U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jennie Pirro, with a blank, bewildered look, declares she doesn't care about the root causes of crime. An attitude that is both callous and short-sighted, perfectly reflecting the nature of this entire administration, obsessed with punishing, arresting, and bragging about numbers, instead of addressing the real problems of the country.
What about preventative? Do you or the president plan to do anything to address the root causes of crime in D.C., such as truancy?
My job is to try to heal the victims and prosecute the criminal. Everybody else can deal with rehabilitating the individual. I honestly am not concerned about why they commit crimes. My concern is if they commit crimes.
What we're witnessing is no longer a slide toward authoritarianism. This is authoritarianism, using the power of the state as a personal weapon to cover up crimes and punish enemies. America is in a dangerous moment where democracy is being eroded day by day. under the boot of a tyrant.
This is all about trying to distract from Donald Trump's corruption and his thievery.
We are not close to authoritarianism anymore. This is authoritarianism. This is a takeover by Donald Trump. He cares not for the laws. He does not care about precedent. I don't even want to bring up norms, like we have any expectation for Donald Trump to follow those.
Pam Bondi's escape is the first sign of collapse. Her silence is a ticking time bomb, and when it goes off, it will be a calculated backstab, not an accident. When the curtain falls, the American people will be left standing in the ashes of a deceitful administration, and the question they'll face isn't who won or lost, but how they can ever trust anything again.